to invite our next speaker to the stage, the amazing best-selling author, international best-selling author, I believe, Beth Elkassih, author of Made You Smile Back. Such a powerful, inspirational story, and mental health is such a thing that I am a huge believer in. I think it doesn't get nearly enough attention, and it is the foundation of success for a lot of us, is keeping our head in the right place and getting it in the right place if it's not there. And mental health is a huge component of that. It's not just mindset. Welcome, Beth. I am so glad to have you here. Please, everybody give her a round of applause and welcome her to the stage. Yay, Beth.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, I want to be on the Haley bandwagon too. I think things happen for a reason, and Haley has been an incredible, not just a professional mentor for me, but as a friend and advocate in the mental illness awareness field. And I look forward to collaborating with her on some special projects in the future. So may I share my screen with everybody?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll have to bear with me so I get used to this. Okay, so do you guys see my screen?
Yep, and if you hit
presentation.
Present, yep.
Right there. Okay. Well, first of all, everybody, my name again is Beth Elkassih, and I am a professional blogger and author of MadeYouSmileBack.com. It's really easy to remember. And I'm also a realtor as a side hustle. I'm using that to propel me as an online entrepreneur so that this can be my full-time passion of writing and providing inspiration, encouragement, and thought-provoking content for all of us who are facing everyday life struggles. And since this summit is about mindset, I decided to do a little bit of a pivot from my previous type of speeches, and that is why happiness is a must-have mindset for your overall ultimate success. And with that, let's see. I'm still kind of hard to maneuver because I'm not used to, there we go. So your success and happiness actually starts with you, as Helen Keller promptly said. And happiness is a choice that you and you alone can make. Nobody can put happiness on you. But before we get started on that, I do want to share with you a personal story of how I myself reclaimed my happiness, and by doing so, how it started a journey on becoming an online entrepreneur and being successful. And as most of us here are women, how we can overcome our daily struggles, choose happiness, use happiness to begin a mindset that will allow you to have ultimate success in your goals. So about 20 years ago, I found myself pregnant at age 41 with my third child. And it was a complicated pregnancy. And the previous two pregnancies I had were breech, so I had to have C-sections. So as a result, this third had to be a scheduled C-section as well. 6 months prior to me delivering my third daughter, I lost my mother to pancreatic cancer, and I hospice cared her. So I was missing her greatly. 2 months before my mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, my father-in-law, who lived with me for 4.5 years, passed away as well. So I had had some tragedies along the way and sadness and grief to deal with. But being pregnant was something that I really enjoyed because it was totally a serendipity surprise. But at the time of delivery, when they had me in the delivery room, they opened me up and the placenta was entirely on top of my uterus. So that's a rare mortality condition for a mother. It's known as placenta precreta. Anyway, they had 6 minutes to get my daughter out without oxygen deprivation. Otherwise, she would have had suffered cerebral palsy. She's fine now. And then my doctor made the decision to stitch me up. But in recovery, as you guys who are mothers know, you have postpartum contractions, right? Well, during those postpartum contractions to shrink down your uterus, I started to internally bleed. I was hemorrhaging. So I ended up having to have life-saving hysterectomy surgery. I was held upside down for 6 hours to keep the blood in my head. I lost 9 units of blood, which the human body only has 12. And I found myself in the hospital for 2 agonizing weeks of recovery. And during that time, I was going down a rabbit hole, basically. But at that time, when that happened, I did not know what I was experiencing. I thought when I came home after the 2 weeks that I was just having the normal everyday baby blues. But I knew instinctively that something was wrong, but I couldn't express it. And so I just lingered. And I don't know about you guys who have experienced, and not just baby blues, but depression in of itself. We all have, I'm sure we have. You know that rabbit hole that I'm talking about, right? And I'll remember that one Friday afternoon, my husband came home from work and he was expecting a hot dinner on the table. And I was sitting there on the couch in a stupor because I was watching Oprah, I just let the time go by. He sat down next to me and he said, "So, what's for dinner?" And I didn't even think about dinner, guys. I mean, that was the furthest thing from my mind. And I could tell he was really upset. He had seen me for over weeks now, enduring being overwhelmed and sad, crying all the time. And he just had had enough that day. And he raised his voice to me and raised his hands and he said, "Why can't you just snap out of it?" That's what he said. I'm sure you've heard it before too. Why can't you just snap out of it? And I just looked at him with tears going down my eyes and I said, "Do you not think that I want to snap out of it? Do you think that I really want to feel this way?" And at that moment, that's when I made the decision, no matter how hard it was in that deep, dark hole, that I was going to reach out as much as I could to get the help that I needed to find my way back to the positive, happy Beth that I used to be. So long story short, I did end up calling my sister in Texas who lives here. She called my best friend. They all did an intervention. They came over. They told my husband, "Your wife does not have baby blues. She has a very serious condition and she needs help." So they convinced him to let me go to the doctor who took me to the psychiatrist. And my psychiatrist did indeed want to put me in a 3-down lockdown because I did have acute postpartum depression. So depression didn't do, and I did go to see her and I did all of that. And it doesn't take 2 weeks to get out of a depression, as you guys know. It took me a long 6 months. But during that 6 months, I had a lot of time to reflect at home. And I decided to read as many self-help improvement books I could, like the Wayne Dyers and all of those, Oprah Winfrey's, Tony Robbins. You guys all know them. I read all of them. And then I decided to go to the internet. I went to the internet. Back then, I don't think it was Google, it was America Online, I think, AOL. But in any event, I remember sitting at the keyboard and I typed in the keyboard, "I just want to be happy again." And there was results. There was the typical Mayo Clinics, hospital ones, the psychiatric ones. But I was so disappointed. I was just so disappointed because all that these sites were doing was telling you the symptoms of what being depressed was, and treatments that you could possibly get. And then there was a couple of psychology ones that even had a questionnaire. They even had a survey that you wanted to take to find out whether you're depressed or not, and then what kind of depression you have. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I didn't need anyone to tell me that I was depressed, right? I already knew I was depressed. What I was looking for, what I was trying to find was a community of like-minded mothers or people who had experienced postpartum depression or depression, what they did, how long did it last, what treatments did they do, what strategies, did they read anything, did they meditate, did they exercise, what did they do? I wanted to have someone to listen to me. So after I got finished with coming out of my depression, I made the life choice that there was going to be a point in time in my future that I would provide a platform for those of us who experience mental illness, more specifically in depression, anxiety, sadness, grief, obsessive disorder, brain injuries that end up being in a mental illness state of mind, that one could go to as a judgment-free zone, a place where you could go where the stigma of mental illness has been totally removed and you can seek out help with one another. And that's why I created MadeYouSmileBack.com, is to provide this platform. And one of the things I can do is provide thought-provoking content for us to think about in order to achieve our goals, which brings us to the topic of hand. Is your success and happiness starts with you, and happiness is a choice. One of the things I really like to tell people is, what is your passion? What is your individual passion? Because no matter what, it's your passion that lights that fire inside of you that ignites this ultimate happiness and success and mindset that you must have in order to achieve your goals. Because one thing that I have learned in my research and in writing different blog articles is that happy people and successful people believe in their dreams, but they marry one another. There's a synergy. And there are traits of a happy mindset that goes along with ultimate success. One of the things is you have to be intrinsically driven, where you don't have to look outside of yourself. You have the motivation and the drive to achieve your dreams. It doesn't matter what other people say. It doesn't matter what other people say to you. The crab mentality that Sherry had talked to us about. You are intrinsically driven to achieve your goals. You believe in your dreams. They are your personal dreams. They're not anybody else's, they're yours. You know what you want to accomplish, you believe in them, and you make it happen. But in order to be the ultimate success and be happy, you also have to learn to be resilient. You have to learn to bend and be flexible, right? And to come back. And it also indicates on resilient that you're going to fail. We all know we're going to fail. It's not whether we're going to fail, it's how many times we're going to fail and what we learn from our failures and our experience, and take that information that we learned and build on the second try or the second attempt to realize our dreams. And it could be the third or fourth attempt. It can be up to the 99th attempt. I think Haley did a Facebook Live the other day. It's about being persistent and resilient in achieving your dreams. You also have to be passionate and hardworking. But going further with hardworking, every one of us in this summit right now are hardworking. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that you are. I know that I was for a long time. I have always been hardworking, but you know what? You can be hardworking, but you don't work smart. So we have to learn, and with this summit, this networking of all these incredible women, we can learn how to work smarter in our hard working that we do every single day and with our passion in order to reach our dreams. We also have to practice self-care, and we have to maintain this positive attitude. Practicing self-care is so important to all of us. And again, I am very guilty of this, and I'm sure a lot of you are. If you raise your hand, we get so absorbed in our intrinsically driven lifestyle, believing in our dreams, being resilient, doing whatever it takes, being hardworking, that we neglect our self-care. But it's so important that we practice it in order to be well balanced, healthy, and that includes eating healthy. Like we have some healthy experts here. I know that Adia does some. I know that Patricia Stevens, I think, are the argon expert. There's self-care in meditation and yoga. There's self-care in so many different aspects of our life that we must do. It could be just even appreciating yourself, taking a step out, having gratitude in your life, journaling to keep your self-care and your ideas in mind. And your positive attitude is essential if you're going to maintain your ultimate success. Do not let people be negative to you. Remove all toxic people out of your life. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded. I loved what Angela said about people who are outgoing. Well, then run with your tribe. Run with who you are, your personality type. Maintain positive attitude. You do not need to surround yourself with the crabs either, right? So it's a choice. Then the other trait of a happy mindset for ultimate success is developing exceptional communication skills. You have to learn effective listening and empathy to our clients. It's not enough to hear them. You have to go beyond and listen to the words that they're saying and what they want from you if you're a coach, as an example. So effective listening is critical. And you also have to have that empathy. And that empathy tells this other person, you know, I get you. Understand where you're going. You know, you're authentic. You're a real person. And by effective listening and empathizing with your client, it positions yourself in the correct mindset to give them a blueprint for themselves for your own individual personal coaching or services that you provide, right? So if you think that I'm finished here, well, I'm not. Yes, these are the 6 powerful traits of a happy mindset for ultimate success. But you know what, ladies? There is one more incredible, powerful tool in our arsenal that I don't know if you've been using, but you had better. Let me share this with you. Are you now ready for the big reveal and find out what the secret 7th trait is for a happy and successful person reaching their goals? Does anyone know? Does anyone? Anyone want to guess? You'll know it once you see it. Successful and happy people are not afraid to ask. And I'll give you an example. If you are in need of needing advice or guidance or coaching or whatever you need in your business that you're lacking, you have to take responsibility for yourself and not be afraid to ask for help. Whether it is a network of ladies like ourselves or men in our summit, or whether you belong to other Facebook groups, or you know personal friends that are coaches, or you know of people that are, should not be afraid to ask for anything that you want. You know why? Because believe it or not, when you ask for what you specifically want, you may get a yes. I would be happy to help you. How can I help you? I want to help you. Do you know how many people love to help other people, but they're never asked? But when they are, they just thrilled. It's like a vote of self-confidence to themselves and their self-esteem and their authenticity of what they bring to the table. Don't be afraid to ask. The other thing is that you may also get a different response. The other person may say, no, I can't give you that, but what I can do instead is give you this to put you on your path, right? So you may get a yes, which is all well and good, but you also may get, no, I can't give you that, but I will be happy to give you this, that may be even a better solution. And then the other answer and response, of course, could be, no, I'm not equipped to do that. I can't give what you want. But you know what? Even a no is okay. You know why, guys? Because you won't even know if it is a no unless you are not afraid to ask. But I guarantee you that what I have found out in since having my depression times and coming out of it and being a realtor is that 90% of the time, when you are not afraid to ask, you will always get a positive answer or response. It may not be the exact one that you were expecting, but it will be one that keeps you on your path. So if you want to have the ultimate mindset is learn to be happy. And with your happiness, you will become successful because successful people are happy and happy people are successful because it is it just keeps going around and round in the circles. Happiness promotes successful people promotes happiness. It works together. So with that, that's the end of my spiel to you guys. I empower all of you to raise your level of happiness and to get to the success that you're all craving and so deserving to have. And I want you to promise me that you will invoke the seventh powerful trait of a mindset of getting to your success, and that is not being afraid to ask. So my gift to you for joining me, and thank you again, Haley, for asking me. I would love to be able to be in a position to raise your level of happiness and reach your guys' ultimate level of success. So I am a happiness life coach. And if my gift to you is all of you who are watching, if you would like, you're welcome to sign up on to have a 30-minute one-on-one complimentary discovery happiness session. And it may be just that you come to vent, to tell me where you are, and maybe perhaps we can see where you are now and then bring you up to a higher level of happiness then and set you on your path. But I'd love for you to join me, and I thank you again for allowing me to speak. Thank you, Haley. And then here is some contact information for me. I am an author, and I did just publish I Just Want to Be Happy Again. And actually, that's just 14 chapters of the most popular blogs have made you smile back. Thank you, Haley.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth. Let's all give Beth a rousing round of applause. Thank you, Beth. If you will put your links into the chat, that would be awesome, so everybody can click on them and see them. Thank you so much for this incredibly powerful story. I cannot imagine what you went through. I know it's incredibly tough. I've had other friends who have gone through similar things, 9, 10, 11 units of blood after childbirth. So it's just incredibly amazing that you're here to tell the story.
Thank
And I'm
you.
glad. Thank you so much. Everybody, let's give Beth a round of applause. Thank you, Beth.